line, maybe. Hopefully we got enough internet for all this here. What's up, everybody? Dan from the Headwaters Kayak Shop, hanging out with my special friend, Ethan Ebersold. Ethan Ebersold, for you guys that don't know, we've done a lot of videos together. He owns and runs Happy Paddlin, which is a rep group. Why don't you tell him? What do you do?
Kind of like what you do. Sales rep for a variety of mostly paddle sports brands. Aquabound, Bending Branches, Eddy Line Kayaks, Solquist Waterwear, Lifetime Kayaks and boards from Powhana Surf Supply. And yeah, been doing it 20 years.
Most importantly, North Star Canoe.
And North Star Canoes.
That's been our connection. It's both of our labor. I don't know that either of us make much money in it, but we love canoes, and we're going to do this for about a half hour, you guys. See, it's 6:40 now. Yeah,
no, 6 days ago, I was paddling the same time, and a black bear came down and drank out of the river from 100 yards from me. Didn't see me, and I watched the bear for
wow.
And a bunch of people hit me up where is that?
None of your business. So he's going to secret spots here, you guys. So if you guys can hear me all right, just shoot over in the comment section. Leave me a comment so I know you're watching. We figured we would do a little bit of question and answer between the two of us. We have, I think, almost 40 years in the paddle sports industry. We're here, as always, to just answer questions and hang out and talk story, because the industry's weird right now, man. Oh. It's unlike anything I've ever seen, and I've been doing it 15 years. You're 25 years. Have you seen anything like this year?
No. I mean, notwithstanding a lot of tragedies out there, a lot of struggles. I mean, obviously want to put a point to that. But on the business side of paddle sports, I mean, obviously people are finding this is how I'm going to spend my summer or the next year or the fall. Yeah. I've had multiple people say to me that have been in this industry for decades, 20 years. One of them just said to me, he's this is the busiest I've ever been. Mm-hmm. He's general vice president of a company, the busiest I've ever been in the kayak industry. It's just the demand is through the roof. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of cool that all these folks are finding ways but the industry's really trying to juggle, and we could get all into
I've never seen anything so messy with just the amount of people trying to pull from the same pot. And these companies, a lot of companies canceled orders. The whole reason my whole Feel Free thing exploded was MEC canceling 500 boats that landed in my lap that just took off. But so many of these people canceled orders. So then companies like Eddy Line, they're scrambling okay, how are we going to make it through this? How are we going to, keep employees busy? And, it's just a big wheel that needs to turn. And then it gets stopped. And then it's all right, you got 4 weeks basically to ramp up for the busiest season you've ever had.
I mean, some of the production facilities were closed, especially rotomolders, that have large staff for safety reasons, state orders. They close. It takes a lot to get those machines back up and running, the raw materials. There were companies that I know of that in middle March, end of March, were we might be out of business, and now are, 8 weeks out in production.
Yeah.
And getting staff back that some folks may have, applied for various, stimulus types of things, and maybe are just trying to figure out what their next move is. Or, yeah. I mean, on the more cynical side, I've heard 3 times today from 3 separate retailers that I'm just gonna not go back to work until,
because they're making better money now.
They are, so I mean, obviously there's always going to be folks that might be able but take advantage of the system, but that's hard for manufacturers too. I had one manufacturer tell me today, I need 75 people to hire, and I can't get them.
Really? Because nobody wants to go back to work.
Yeah.
I've heard several of my retailers say that, in order to get my employees to come back, they're literally taking a hit and working more. Why would we do that when I could go fishing every day or go paddling every day? I mean, thank God. I just want to stop and thank my staff, Matt, Taylor, Josh, everyone who is all right, we're going. Let's do this. We have such a freaking rad team of people. I can't even tell you, man. I just got off the phone with Abba and Josh, and everyone's just stepping up. Linda's just been, on everything, making sure we're getting the stuff, making sure we're getting things as fast as we can so we don't run out of stock as best as we can. It's just we're seeing the best of everyone. Everyone's having to step up to meet the moment, meet the demand. I sound like the California governor right now.
No, but I mean, the one perspective, I mean, honored to be here. Hi, everybody. This is but perspective that's neat as a rep is that, I think I have over 200 accounts that I work with. So you get this immediate like macro look at what everyone's seeing and doing. And it's just such a fork in the road, even between stores that like immediately adapted, the staff stepped up, and then and others, and maybe they're making the right decision for themselves, or just like shut the door. Wait, you said pull the fire blanket over. I thought that was a good
just like, let's peek our heads out and Memorial Day weekend and see what it looks like, see what the landscape looks like. And everyone's in a different place. I think for me and most of my shop, like, I'm so hungry for this. Like, I love this so much. This is all I want to be doing. I eat, sleep, drink it. This is my life. So like, I'm going to figure out a way to do it. Even if there was no business, I'm going to try my best. And then when it turned, like, I just happened to be in a position where I'd already been hustling and making deals, and it's working out. Cool.
I mean, I think, people do puzzles because it challenges your mind, your brain. This is the ultimate puzzle to figure out. My other is also, you just are finding out, on all levels, folks that I work with that, pay my bills, and you're finding out who's stepping to the challenge, who's kind of, and you're trying to pull each other up. I think a lot of customers are being really patient too. I think they all realize
for
it.
Sure.
So,
I mean, with the exception, I get a few nasties here and there, and people want more out of us than we have to give. People are like, why can't we just come in your shop? If I opened the front doors of my shop, I would be completely overran. We're doing everything by appointment, and it's just kind of how it has to be. And everyone's been really, really cool and putting deposits on boats that are coming in because our, the inventory is getting limited. Everyone's being pretty cool. And if you're not being cool, please chill out because we're so busy. It's so crazy. I had one customer, actually, longtime customer, bought paddleboards, bought kayaks for me. And he emailed me personally. He's like, hey man, I'm having an issue with my sup. I've got this crack. And I hope he doesn't mind me talking about this if he's watching. And your staff, like, I called your shop and it's not the same headwater since you've been on the road. And I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right. Like, I'm going to do what I can for you. Like, here's the deal. Like, I'm happy to handle this. I appreciate you reaching out to me and telling me what's going on. And I handled it on my end. But as far as my staff's concerned, like, here's a board that we sold 5 years ago. It developed a crack from being stored outside and kind of abused, and we don't do sup repairs. So it's like they probably kind of did the right thing, but maybe they didn't say it in the right way.
Sure.
And you can't manage everyone. So I appreciate that guy reaching out to me, and I was able to get him the right repair kit and walk him through the process. And it worked out, but it's not easy.
Yeah, somebody said a heck of a time to pick up the sport, and that is so true. We are hearing, like, I'll take anything you have, essentially, is what, paddlers like yourselves might end up saying here, particularly in like 3 or 4 weeks. You're definitely going to be saying it. Heard, from all the way from chain stores, where you're buying groceries are running out of kayaks, all the way on up to the manufacturers that are building them, and even raw materials, hatches, handles, things are being delayed. So if you are thinking about it, I'm not even plugging my brands, like, make the move.
We're talking even Dick's Sporting Goods is going to be low. I can't speak on their behalf, but I'm seeing it. Walmart was sold out of boats. I talked to a major manufacturer today. I don't know if I should say the name,
no.
but they supply Walmart. And they were like, yeah, we're working on an affiliate program because I'm going to do some more videos on some boats that they sell. They reached out to me and said, hey, we want to partner. We're going to work on an affiliate program. But here's the deal. They're not going to have inventory. Walmart is not going to have inventory for 8 weeks. It's crazy. It's absolute madness in this industry. Thankfully, though, it's kind of played into independent retailers' hands. Like, we took boats early. We got, we've gone through, 9 containers of Feel Free, and we have 7 more that will be here between now and July. So we should be actually pretty good. The next few weeks will be thin. We took eddy lines. I think we're going to have close to 50 eddy lines in stock, which will get us through the season. Ethan's like, Dan, order them now, or you're going to be backlogged. So I appreciate that.
I think about, I have my employee Nick is a snowboard rep, and like December 15th, snowboard reps aren't selling anymore. It's done. And a little bit of that paddle sports is happening right now. There's probably not going to be any big demo days for obviously safety reasons, but also I don't think building the demand right now could be served anyhow. So, tuning into stuff like this to have your questions answered, is hopefully what we can do, right?
I've been doing so much virtually. Like, if you guys message me on Instagram asking questions, and I to you, I'll be honest with you, my DMs have been a little bit off the hook.
That question is a question I had. I was thinking about this morning. Blue Sky. You heard doing those blue skies. Somebody asked, what about blue sky?
Yeah, what about the really good question. They're still around. I can't speak on behalf of Jackson Kayaks and what they have going on.
What their lead times are.
What their lead times are. I know that a lot of companies are struggling. It was a decision I had to make. Like, I only have so much room in my shop, and it was at a year where we were actually going to get a new location and grow the retail. And we kind of decided, like, let's take a different approach. We actually scaled back on the lines and really just went heavy on the lines that we really knew we could get, knew we could partner with, knew we could do a good volume on. And that was one of the ones, unfortunately, them, Bonafide, New Canoe, all kind of hit the chopping block. And honestly, we're serving less of a broad spectrum, but a lot more customers in general. So it seems to have worked out, and it's been good for us. We'll continue to review stuff even if I don't sell it, because maybe you have a perception dealer in your neck of the woods, or maybe you could just get that stuff through box stores. I still want to support you guys and talk and more of a general broad picture on this channel, and not necessarily just be the stuff I sell. Of course, the stuff I sell is going to be on here often because that's what I have in my warehouse or in my garage. But
I'm looking through these comments a little bit. Somebody, I think when Blue Sky came out, it was unveiled at a trade show that I was at, and one of the gentlemen that was sales managers at the time, or part owner, was like, Ethan, I want to show you something, and gave me like the 60-minute kind of round through, and it was awesome. Those things are great. But, as a traditional, more kayak paddle sports rep, I was like, boy, this is maybe this will be in boat shops.
Yeah, what is this going to be?
A boat dealer versus a kayak. So I think it does take a special kayak shop to carry something like that and have the trailers. Yeah. I mean, you guys are on that level, but a lot of my guys in this area territory might not.
I know. I went into your guys' local paddle shop, which to me at Tunnel Creek's epic. Like, you just go in there, it's like drool on everything. But yeah, when it came to the kayak fishing thing, it's like, well, we got Hobie, we got these ones here, but that's it.
And you're in Sacramento. Somebody asked the Klamath, do you have a Klamath location? Dan, warehouses in Klamath with a great shop called The Ledge.
Yep. So Klamath is rocking. I work with Mike at The Ledge. I supply him kayaks. I help him with marketing and branding, but it's his shop. And thankfully, he's been he owns the building. He's been super nice to work with me on some warehousing stuff. And just an awesome, just talking to Ethan, like, he's another guy he's been in it since 1985, and his energy level and passion is like matches us, I would say.
Yeah, he goes up Shasta every year, hikes right up Shasta every year. I mean, he's a mountain climber as well.
He's a legend. So, he's also a lunatic.
Yeah, I'd almost admitted with the Big Sky. At my end of that Big Sky, I was kind of being shown the line. I was like, wow, that's super cool. I was like, Marty, think about the fish. I'm going to admit this right here, you guys. You might just change your screen. I was like, I kind of get my fish at Whole Foods. And, I grew up fishing in Minnesota. I love fishing. I'm going to get back into it. Dan, you got to take me out. Like,
we should bring rods.
I bought all the gear. I have it. Yeah, we should bring it. All right, we're going. But I wasn't.
Let's look at this.
And my kids are asking me to fish again, so I got to get back into it. I even bought them rods.
You got to do it, man. It's easy. It's easy, especially living here.
I fell in love with the path of the paddle.
I'm with you. I go back and forth. Then I go fishing for a day, like Josh and I would fly fishing the other day.
I just need to go.
It's so good. Yeah. Okay, my son just turned 9. I want to get him started in a kayak, maybe a used demo in the fall, maybe a Pelican or a light tackle. If he's 9 years old, get him something as small and as narrow as you can. Jackson Skipper's a cool little kid's boat. They have another boat called a Mini Tripper. The Crescent light tackle is pretty good. I have one of those that my kid paddles around. He does fine in it. The best kayak I can recommend is an Eddy Line Rio. I have 2 of those now for my 10-year-old and for my 7-year-old, and they can both handle that boat. They can help pick up the other end and move it. It's not a cheap boat. I think $13.99.
Yep. I mean, at 9 years old, you're past the 6-foot boat.
Yeah,
so
you're
my
past
6-year-old, I have a 6, 9, and 11-year-old, and the 6-year-old is now, even today, I said, should we keep that around? He's like, no, get rid of it.
The little short one.
I mean, he's
the $89. I see you have one over there.
Yeah, he's got a 10-foot Kevlar canoe coming in a few weeks. So
kids are spoiled.
Yeah,
but the Pelican is not really great, but it's too fat. It's still, the kids are still having to try to paddle over the side of that. Get something narrow, and it'll serve them better.
If you find an old Emotion Bliss, that's a good boat. Even a Perception, Tribute?
No, they had that. It was the Acadia Scout.
Yeah.
If you can find that boat, that's a sweet little boat for kids too, and you can find those used sometimes. All right, let's see what else we have. Crescent or Vibe?
I think what's up with them? I think that came.
Are you wanting to comparison?
No, production wise.
Well, Crescent is made in the U.S., so their production lines are. They're a little behind, but they're continuously shipping boats. They're maxed out. They're not taking new dealers. They're not selling direct. They're only trying to serve the dealers they have. And I ordered 30 boats with them, and I wish I ordered 100 because we're going to sell out before we even get them. But I ordered 30 boats with them. They're right on target for the date. They've been very consistent. They've maintained quality control. Vibe has been, honestly, they're made in China. So, I mean, with everything that's gone on, they've had a lag. And then the quality of the stuff I'm getting, like this, you know, like everyone got laid off. They must have just hired new people because we're seeing all sorts of weird shit come through. So they're struggling.
The harder thing about overseas production is if you don't have somebody on the ground. I mean, you pay up front or pay half, and then half once delivered. So, you know, if a mistake happens, it gets replicated multiple times before you catch it.
Right. They had like a little part that just didn't fit in right, and it was on all the boats. And it's like, you know, we can kind of jerry rig it to make it work, but it's not ideal.
They're going to be sending new parts, and the specialty retailers will have work to do.
Yeah, it's been a headache, but
it happens.
I'm trying not to like talk bad. They still make a great product. They still have a great value, but that is where things are at. Box stores have gone up in price on some models. No discounts for sure. Saw a Lifetime Tamarack for $460. I paid $280. Yeah, I paid $280 when I did that review. Maybe it's a different. I know they have several different Lifetime models. They have like the Pro model with the chair. It could be different, but yeah, you're not going to see discounts right now because it's supply and demand.
Guys, you know? I'm a rep for Lifetime, and I was actually from Emotion Kayaks, a Lifetime bought Emotion, and a lot of the boats evolved past that when that happened. And I actually just talked, you know, be careful what I say, but I just talked to Lifetime today. Actually the director of the water sports division. And yes, they wish they could build more and more and more. Same thing. They had to turn off ovens. I mean, they are a large manufacturer, the largest private employer in Salt Lake City.
So blow molding, they just pump those things out. Like what can they produce in a day?
I wonder if I should say that either. It's about, it is about, okay, a rotational oven where like a Perception or Old Town, they're rotating an oven. You feel free. You can make, let's say 30 boats off of a mold in a day.
It's like an oven. It's like baking cookies. You know, they got to run for 30 minutes. And you got maybe a big company would have 10 ovens.
Yeah. So, you know, let's say you could probably do 10 times the volume with blow molding. Blow molding is using high density polyethylene in most cases. Rotationally molding is using LDPE. Most cases, right? I think that's what yours are. So you can kind of research the difference, or I could talk about them. What blow molding is think about like those frozen yogurt dispensers, like you like to bring your kids to. That's what plastic is coming down vertically off out of a ceiling head, they call it. Yeah, and it's a hollow tube of plastic, and a mold closes on it. And at that same time, the blow molding is that air is being, and it pushes it into position. And they're cycling. I mean, a major factor in blow molding manufacturing is, can the people put the parts in before the next one's coming down? You know, you might have like assembly line factory. 200 seconds to work on a boat or something like that. If they can shave like the rotation of someone's body, pound for pound, that HDPE in a blow molded boat like Lifetime is stronger pound for pound. Maybe they decide to spec it a little thinner than maybe your Feel Free, which is partially they have to do because of rotationally being a little bit more like you can't quite pinpoint this thickness in certain areas as much as you can. So there's no, you know, one's better, one's worse necessarily. But the reason why price is lower on Lifetimes is it's truly an efficiency in manufacturing. And Lifetime makes everything in the U.S. for their kayaks. I mean, Utah or Tennessee, they're the largest employer in the state of Utah.
Really?
Private employer. They had 2,000 employees in a hospital on site. Not to do a commercial, but they are really awesome manufacturers. What were we going for about that? Sorry.
No, it's all right. Guys. You just got, it's great. I love that. No, don't be sorry.
Plastics. Oh, I wish they could make more boats. That's the point of it. They wish they could make it. Getting 2,000 people back in.
Shout out from here in Georgia. Still haven't been able to get my hands on a Crescent yet. Yeah, dude, they're tough to get. I'm so stoked for James. I'm going to get James on the show here. I talked to him about it the other week just to hear his story. The guy's, I think I said this last time, he's in his mid-20s, and he's just been so many hardships, but he's really persevered. I find that guy to be very inspiring. Let's see. My son is 13. He wants to buy a Big Fish 105 or 120. I don't think you should let him. There's no way he's big enough for that boat. I mean, that's me on the cover of it. And I'm telling you, you probably shouldn't buy that boat. If you're a big guy, that's a big guy's boat.
Live right in the water, he drags it down.
No. There's so many better boats out there for your son. And I'm the rep for them. There's better boats for your son. Buy him something smaller. Buy him something lighter that you can move.
The limitations that is the schlep. If you don't want to lift it, you don't go.
Yeah,
that is like repping 20 years. Everybody since 1996, I've been selling paddle sports. If you can't lift it, you will not go.
Yeah.
Or you got to get awesome carts and you live next to the water and everything.
Or you're doing trailers and everything. But like I just ordered 45 boats on my way up here by myself.
Is Crescent a rotomolded? Yes, it is.
Yeah, 100%. They're made in U.S., South Carolina.
But this thing of saying, like, I have read, like, rotomold's better than blow molding, that's, the goal of Lifetime was to make a price point boat.
Yeah.
Go look at a Preon Kayak, a blow molded touring boat out of Germany. And if
They're
you were going into the
badass.
Arctic to trust your life in a boat right now, Eddie Line rep saying, if I'm going into the Arctic, I'm taking a Preon.
Because they're indestructible.
Yeah, that's it. So
they're not as beautiful, I would say. They can't get the shine,
pretty.
But they're really, really burly. All right, let's see what else we got going on in the comments.
Cool, hi.
Oh, yeah, come on down. I'm just kidding. Ethan's always like, are people going to start showing up my yard asking about kayaks?
I put all the boats away, everybody. Everything's back in the warehouse.
Suspends or wilderness systems. God, we just had that conversation off there. Because I'm sitting next to a Suspends rep, it really does. It depends on the boat. But I really like that wilderness cart. It fits a lot of different hull designs. Suspends is maybe half the price in some cases.
Depends on your boat, too.
And it really depends on
a big fishing boat. That wilderness cart is very cool. Suspends has something called the Super Duty Maglite, or you might call it the all-terrain cart. They just had a name change. But for certain fishing boats, that Wildy cart is cool. But Suspends has stuff to fit it too.
Yeah, and in our shop, we have both. I always say, like, let's get your boat on there. Because if you're paddling a touring kayak, the wilderness cart's complete overkill. But if you're in a big, wide fishing kayak, that wilderness cart works pretty good.
His max spending limit, the kid on the $800, right?
Okay, all right, here we go. His max spending limit is $800.
We're gonna get him in a good boat.
Yeah.
Where do they live?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Shelly, what's his height and weight? Yeah, where do you live? Do you have a local shop?
You don't need to say.
Yeah, I don't need your address, but do you have a local shop or are you ordering online? We'll try to help dial you in.
Crescent Ultralight. Is that the same Shelly? No.
Geez, there's a lot of Crescent. What about the Johnny Bass 100? They're great. I have a ton of them in stock. I'm not talking as much about motorized boats anymore. I just realized that veers too far away from my passion. Even though we do sell them, we have them in the shop, and it's a boat. So if that's your thing.
Somebody asked about Hobies being delivered to Lodi from your Reading store. Do you ever do that?
We don't deliver them. We deliver them to customers, and we will meet somebody, but we are not allowed to deliver in the Lodi store because it's a conflict of interest. Hopefully someday Hobie will get their stuff together and sell us boats. But for now, yeah, we sell them. I run to Lodi, once a week. I deliver Hobies all the time. At least every run, I have at least 1 or 2 or 3 Hobie deliveries. So
they're in Minnesota and online. Shelly, that's the one with the
cool.
$800.
Yeah. So what would you get? I would say
he's fishing, right, Shelly? Like is he's about fishing or is he about kayaking or both? Like that's right?
Yeah, and he's 13 or 14. I mean, yeah, I need to know how big he is too. But like Perception makes some really good price point boats that would fit that budget. I would say the Feel Free Moken, although it's just impossible to get right now. The Feel Free Moken at $7.99 is a sweet boat. The thing about the Big Fish, it just paddles so slow, and it's such a heavy boat for a young kid that I think you'd be better to get him something a little more sleek. And kids are sporty. Kids can stand up in pretty much anything. There's no reason to overcompensate for the stability. It would be my suggestion. So,
but I mean, 800 is going to get him a nice boat.
Yeah. You can get a nice.
I mean, in Minnesota, there's a lot of little lakes. So, like, I grew up in southeast Minnesota, the Mississippi, and like a 10-foot sit on top would not be fun out there. So, is he in the little lakes? Then even a little 10-foot.
Yeah, even like a Crescent Ultralight. That's a small, easy, portable boat that most people can stand.
He's 5'1" and 120 pounds. But if he's going on bigger water, like I grew like in the Mississippi paddling or St. Croix River or something big, there's a lot of little lakes, and that's really where the question matters.
Perception Pescador Pro makes a good one that has a seat. Feel Free Moken 12.5 or even the 10 would be fine. Crescent makes a good one. The Vibe Seaghost 110 is a little smaller, would be a good size for him. What else am I missing in that price range? That's really good. I need to do my top 10 under 1,000 video again. I'm getting rusty, you guys. I should tell you what, shoot me a message and I'll do some research.
The other thing I'd say about the fishing industry, Dan's definitely the pro of every individual model, is these models are changing so quickly that snowboarder and last year's snowboard is wholesale now. And I think some of the kayak fishing world is a little bit more that way than like a touring boat, like a 2-year-old Eddie Line holds value. So he might be able to find something really nice in the used market too, especially when folks are upgrading. There's somebody that was where he was, 2 years ago. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people that are like, hey, I love this sport. Like we sell, hundreds of Feel Free Mokens and Vibe Seaghost 110s, literally hundreds and hundreds. And then if people, get really into it, they do a tournament, whatever, they go buy a pedal drive and now they're selling that one for $650. Happens every day, all the time. So definitely check, your local online resources too. Anyway, I'll try to research that a little bit more and get back to you. So should he get a Sea Ghost?
I bought a Vibe Sea Ghost 130 last year. Is all Vibe made in China? Yes, Vibes are definitely made in China. You know, there's a lot of companies, and I shouldn't say a lot. There's a lot of companies popping up that are made in China. Vibe is probably one of the bigger ones right now. And that's, I don't, you know, they still make a good boat. It's a good price point. Whether ethically where you're at with that, that's on a person. Some people are very against buying in China. Some people are fine with it. You know, got my iPhone. This computer is probably, you know, half the stuff in my life is probably made in China. So where do you want to draw that line? That's up to you. I personally try to support U.S. when I can. Anyway, I don't need to get into that too much. It always comes up in every conversation.
Yeah, it's like, so the value on a Sea Ghost is that there's right there direct to customer as well. Pretty much.
They do a direct customer service. They also sell through dealers. But yeah, the value is pretty good. Although the price went up, and then they don't come with the paddle. They used to be like $7.99 or $8.29 with the paddle. Now they're $8.99 without a paddle. And then the Feel Free Moken comes in at like $7.99. Oh, T. Will Walker, thanks, dude.
Nice, Sarah. I didn't get the Headwaters hat. Sold out online.
Oh, what? I have them in stock. Call the shop and we'll send it.
I've got one.
I just got a fresh one yesterday. I know I have a bunch.
I'm on happypaddlin.com if you want. I want to help the Minnesota young man find the right boat too.
Okay.
So happypaddlin.com if you want, you know, have more questions or whatever. Because I'm gonna need an employee in 10 years, and he'll be perfect.
Yeah. Can I ship to Canada? No. From Australia. Love the kayaking tips. Thanks, Mark. That's awesome, dude. And T. Will Walker, dude, thanks so much. I always, you know, it blows me away when people are just willing to like give us a virtual tip like that. Thank you guys. It's unbelievable.
Dennis. Hey, Dennis, you've been watching some of our videos. Awesome. I think he's asked me this question online. I've already commented. Dennis, the canoe customer, asking about North Stars and class.
Nice.
Hey, Dennis, where's your class 2 or 1 that you're talking about? Because class 1, 2, I'm going to get regional here, but a Midwest class 1 and 2 is different than a West Coast class 1 and 2, different than a East Coast class 1 and 2.
I can say for myself, I have an IXP Phoenix, and then I have a Northwind Solo. I run that Northwind Solo most of the time, like on the Sac River, which is class 1, class 2 in McCollum.
Yeah.
I love the Phoenix. That's what I'll paddle tonight. But I spent a lot of time on my Northwind Solo and a lot of varieties.
East Coast and Rocky. IXP guaranteed. Like that stuff, it's unbelievable, Dennis. Like I have fully loaded canoe with tandem B17 IXP. We slammed into a rock, fully loaded, intentional to get out of a wave train. Right in the middle of that boat, there's like 17 layers of cloth. It is I have a Phoenix IXP coming to me in the backyard over here. I already have the Northwind Solo IXP wood trim. You know, you have a lot of the maneuverability. If you need that maneuverability in a shallow, small class 1, 2 East Coast Rocky, I think Phoenix.
I'd go Phoenix.
You know, for sure.
Like we have like Sacramento River where we paddle. I mean, it's like it could get up to 50,000 cubic feet per minute. It's huge.
Sorry, everybody. I brought you into canoe land. I know it's not everybody. I don't know why it's not everybody. Like I have 24 pounds.
That's a video, dude. We need to make a video like why canoes? Because you can get your family out canoeing and it doesn't really cost you much more than getting them into kayaking, but it's almost a better experience for most families. If you're going solo, then you got to kind of love it a little more. It does take a little bit more skill. There's a little bit more of a learning curve.
Yep, sure.
But the versatility, man.
I have a Lifetime Teton kayak. Would be fine taking out in the ocean.
No, I would not take a Teton in the ocean. I'm sorry. Oceans are different depending on where you're at. I think of ocean. I think
Dennis.
Of North Coast. No, you shouldn't take that. They're not the most watertight kayaks. They're close to shore or lakes, slow moving rivers. Great, but not in the ocean.
You guys, ocean truly can become class 4 or class 5 whitewater.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, maybe you have a harbor and you're in Santa Cruz going up through the harbor, a little different, but like it can definitely be, especially in the braking zone, like class 4, 5 whitewater. Yeah. Yeah,
it can get nasty out in the ocean and it picks up quick. You know, you don't always know. The ocean changes. So whenever I hear ocean, I think of my ocean and I just got to say no. Look at this. This guy's coming all the way from Colorado.
I think you said something last week about doing something from a guy from Colorado. I think he owes you like sweatshirts and hats. That's where in Colorado. That's great.
I just blows my mind. Thank you. Yeah, definitely get a hat. Let me hook you up with some stickers. I can't believe people are willing to do that. It's so over the top because I know there's other things you could support and you choose to support us. It means the world to me that I can make a living in this crazy, crazy world of kayaks and share my passion with you guys, and you guys continue to support it. So thank you.
You guys, just a plug to Dan, but doing this for 20 years for Redwood, like I think Dan was at a low spot when it was behind the counters,
you know, and the counter
trying to tell the same story over and over. So thanks for watching. Also, we realizing everyone's hungry, but what this awesome, Dan. It's been just amazing to watch you create this community. It's so cool. So,
well, I always said if there's an active community of people that are learning about sport, that love the sport, that want more of the sport, there's always going to be a need for a pro shop like Headwaters that loves the sport as much as we do. And it's been proof. I mean, we're on year 10. This is our 10th anniversary of Headwaters this year. And it's completely, been a life-changing experience. And bringing you guys along through this YouTube channel and this community that we're creating has just been the coolest. And also, like, to touch on what Ethan was saying, the fact that I'm not chained down to that desk answering everyone's questions that come through the door, the fact that I can get on here and talk to a few hundred people at a time or a few thousand people at a time, it makes me feel like there's so much more future. When I was just working retail, I was just getting burned out. I've been worked retail since I'm 16 years old in a bike shop, nonstop. I was just sort of done, and mostly in the same town. Like, I don't know, I was ready for something different, and this has been an outlet.
So the thing watching online, you have to qualify yourself, like reading some of these comments. It's a new retail environment. So you walk into a shop and you say, I want to buy $500 or $600, and I'm looking at your foot size, your height, your hips, your everything.
Yeah.
Can't do that online. So there's a lot of questions like, what for $500? Everybody should just like quickly qualify. Height, weight, water, like FIT. Who are you? What are you doing with it? And where are you going? Like Little Lakes in Minnesota, you can float it in an 8-foot boat if you want. Little ponds with houses all the way around it, but not so in the ocean. So yeah, qualify yourself in these little questions if you can. Like I'm 355. There's something.
Right, I get that all the time. You guys, I don't even respond to messages if it's like, hey, what kayak's right for me? I've got this budget. Like, there's so many more questions that need to happen when somebody's buying a kayak, and I don't have time to be everyone's personal shopping guide. I just there are 200 to 300 DMs a day. I just respond to donors because it's just. If somebody DMs me and says, hey, Dan, I'm 5'7", 200 pounds, and I want to be in this type of water, could you give me 2 or 3 choices? I'll just do a quick video and shoot it off. But if I have to ask more questions, I just can't. I don't have enough time.
My employee said it great. It's like if I quickly had 30 seconds to go through your social feed a year from now to see what you were doing, what would that look like? Then we could guess, like, if it was a year from now after you bought the boat and I saw your social Instagram or whatever, like, oh, they're in this water, that water, this, that. So you want to paint us like a futuristic view of what your social feed of paddling would look like a year later. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's perfect. That's what I always say. Like, if somebody walks into my shop, obviously it's a different story than online. But if somebody walks into my shop, or if they can be a customer, even if they're online, but I know that they can be one of my customers and I can support them, they're willing to drive, whatever. That's the first thing I say. Like, paint me a picture. Like, what is it you want to do in a kayak? Like, what is drawing you to the sport? Because everyone is like, oh, I saw somebody doing this. I saw somebody canoeing on a flat water lake at sunset, and I look dreamy. I saw somebody sea kayaking on the ocean. God, I really want to aspire to that. I want to run my local class 3 river skill. All that information, painting us that picture, allows us to be like, all right, cool. You're this height, this way. This is what you're telling me you want to do. Here's sort of the trajectory I would suggest. Here's some boat options. Here's some water options. Maybe here's some classes from local outfitters that offer classes. Try to plug you in. But saying what's best for me at $600, it's like,
well, then immediately we go into our bank of memory and be like, oh, I've seen 15 people that described that before. And I saw them a year later and they all like this or that. So, immediately you go, oh, I have a reference of that person or whatever. Yeah. So,
and the kayak you want today isn't necessarily the kayak you're going to want.
And somebody said, I'm not sure if I could load this, or they're asking about loading. I just can't stress that enough either.
If you can't load it, you won't use it, period. There's a reason we're paddling.
Or you can adapt my beer in the cooler technique where you always have ice cold beer and you're asked for help.
Hey, buddy, I got a beer. Would you grab the other side of this?
Yeah, totally. I'm embraced this.
I'm going to read through these comments, you guys. We're gonna be late for our paddle, so we got to get our butts in gear. All right, inflatables to start out now. I'm looking to get a hard shell. Right. Really got into your videos. We're looking for comparisons. That's awesome, man. I love that our videos are bringing people in. Hopefully you stick around for all the adventures. I've got a few really cool trips that I've been on that I'm looking forward to sharing. I was hoping to post it before I did another live video, but I've been super busy. I will definitely have at least 2 more videos coming out this next week. I love the channel and ideas, reviews, tips.
Charles.
Fort Bragg, awesome.
Look at Charles. Describes his height, weight, where he's going. He wants to buy U.S.-made 350 pounds, river fishing. In Montana, you got a lot of rivers too. So some of the pedal drive stuff isn't as ideal as you would, be down where Dan's in the Sacramento area. So, you're just going to be, if you want to just sit on top, you should be over 12 feet for sure. Probably in 13s, right? Or something pretty wide.
Yeah, 350 pounds. Like that's where this boat rocks it.
Yeah.
You know, because look at the capacity on that 120 is 400-pound capacity, and I have easily put 450 pounds on the boat, and it's still stable.
My employee's going to Montana in like a few weeks. There's a couple great shops, one in Bozeman, Northern Lights, the barn. Sorry, I get down granular here.
That's how my son found out about it. But that's so cool. So he's going to work for us someday.
Oh, yeah.
Shelly's son. All right, send him out to California. That's what Ethan did. He came out here and made a life for himself slinging kayaks. All right, you guys. I don't know if we got to everyone. Thank you so much for the videos. I'm researching my first personal kayak, and it's been great. Awesome. Do me a favor. Go watch my Kayaking 101 video, the most important video that I've ever made. And it's not one of my most popular, but if you're getting into paddling and you want just like a basic foundational knowledge of how to paddle, that video is really good. Go check it out. All right, you guys, we're going to call it quits because we're going to go paddling. If you want to stick around and hang out with us, shoot on over to Instagram at Headwaters Kayak, at Happy Paddling. We're going to go canoeing, and we'll take a few shots and bring you guys along. Until next time, thank you so much. Wishing you happy paddling. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.
All right.